Yo, 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 what's up? What's up? What's up? Can y'all hear this? Or let me know if you guys can hear this. Little thing's been giving me some trouble. Alright, I'm gonna go with, can hear this. Let me know in the comments if not. But, here we go. Alright, so starting off, always starting with some flow. Try to find these big plays, right? And one sector that's really interests me, Snap, ran on Friday with that ER beat. So I'm going to lay away from Snap right now. AMD's one that definitely interests me. Let's see here. Look at some today's breakdown. I kind of went through this a little bit already just to look, at some interesting flow. Had a weekend, some time off. We're being really slow. All right, maybe. All right, here we go. So what really interests me here about AMD are these 130 calls, very high. Looks like it did test at 130 on the ER beat. We also have 125 calls getting hit nice for next week. Up to those 135 calls, it does look like, for the fourth last week, it was pretty hit or miss, but we did have 120 puts getting hit pretty nice. There is a gap down to fill, but this can explode over, up in here about 125 and over that towards 130, making a push higher after a good ER. So I like AMD a lot. Another one I already tweeted, I already tweeted out about Lucid, but the flow on it, maybe, holy cow. Have a little bit, let's see if it, all right, cool. What up, what up? Just making sure everyone can hear. All right, having a little bit of slow connection here with Wales. Come on now. Lucid's gonna be the next ticker, but when looking at Lucid, we are in a very big volume cluster on the daily, so I like that a lot. Gonna look at this flow if it ever loads. Any day now, any day now. But one thing, when looking at though earlier, all right, here we go. So these 318.45 calls certainly stick out to me. It looks like 45 puts were taken, so this could be a straddle. 211.30 calls also very, very interesting to me. We finished the day on Lucid at about 27 area. So I like that a lot. It looks like, on 2.4 there were some bearish activity for sure. But this 218.60 call, which would be another straddle, also interests me as well. So I like that a lot. Possible big move. I like the upside a lot here on Lucid, back to test that 33 level off of a VPA cluster. Nice VPA gap above. BA is another one. Lucid is more of the smaller account type that we can play. I'll definitely be playing those 30s if we have a good market tomorrow. On the flip side, I'm not going to include Neo on my watch list, but if we do have a weekday tomorrow, I like Neo's downside a lot. All right, so BA. What really interests me here about BA is the highest call volume we have for the 211s are these 220 calls. Getting hit very nice, 0.43 to 0.48. Very, very good. I like that. We also see these 3.4 250s, 318 250s getting hit. 218 puts are down to the 200s. Other than that, 211 looks pretty bullish. 2.4 had some puts, but further out it looks like 318s and 218s are pretty bearish at this point. So I like that a lot. We can see, a nice consolidation here on BA with a potential to both sides. The next one, BAC had a pretty killer end of the day. Exploded off that 47 level. If this thing will load again, I'll show kind of what it looks like on this chart here. But what really interests me, these 211.49s, 49.5s are the highest volume, getting hit very well. 30,000 volume, 25,000 volume, so the volume is there for sure. 218.50s are also getting hit, and the only bearish transaction that's still on BAC is that 2.4 47 put. So this is looking, pretty bullish, but with a big breakout, there's always room to the downside. So I like BAC a lot here. It's testing levels it really needs to break in order to make that push over and to continue on in an uptrend. And then the last ticker is one I don't really trade all that much, but the flow on it is pretty outrageous. Bitcoin decided to make a little bit of a run, so I like that a lot. And then looking at this flow for 2-4, you know, getting smacked around those all the way up to those 18s, got hit on the 16 puts, cool, but the 211-17 calls lead the way for those. 16.5s also getting hit, but I really like this 20 call up here, as well as this 218 13.5 put. So this, you know, it runs off of Bitcoin, and there was some bad news the other day, but in the end it's going to run more off of Bitcoin. So I like this a lot, and keep that in mind when trading Riot. This is definitely another smaller account play, pretty tight spreads, nice premiums, so I like that one a lot. Let's go over some levels. All right, so Neo, I'll start with this one. Neo, some levels I'm watching this more to the downside, as I do like the bearish transactions that were on the flow, but I like it under 23.55 a lot, down towards that 23.10 and 23 level, which has been a very big level that it needs to hold. All right, for AMD. So for AMD, you know, we talked about that earlier, but looking at this, there's some pretty clear cut lines, and I like, for calls, I like it over this level here at 124.95. Let's see if I can put this on here. Mark this in blue, 124.95. I like over that. You can also use that 125 psych level if you like. Looks like level over that we're going to test is 125.35. Throw that in yellow. So that's a 35-cent move. You know, not the greatest right off the bat, but over that level, AMD really has a lot of room to run. You're going to use the hourly to look at some more targets after. So after that, you know, the level that really sticks out is right here at, what's the low here? 126.3. So, you know, that's a good move. I like that a lot. And then over 126.3, we really have room to run. VPA cluster here. So I like that as well. And the next level over that I really like is up here at 128. 128.15. What's the low on this? Let's go 128.05 for my next potential. I really like that a lot on the upside. On the downside, you know, it's a little bit more of a confusion, but there are levels that are definitely I like a lot. So we do have this POC here at 122.28, but I'm actually going to use this level here that has bounced off multiple times at 121.85 for puts. The downside is definitely looking a lot more choppy. Looks like it's not as clear cut as the upside, but there's definitely that potential. Most of these semis have had pretty good earnings, so that's something to keep in mind as well. This will run with the market, with NVIDIA. QCOM's another one, so I like that a lot. Under that 121.85, I'm gonna watch that 121 level for sure. 121 is definitely going to be a big level. And then underneath 125, I really don't see much until 120. And it needs to hold that 120 level, or else, you know, there's nothing really holding this up. There's a gap below to fill. So there's big play potential either way here with AMD. I like that play a lot. The premiums on AMD, a little bit more on the expensive side, but not too terrible. In terms of Lucid, this is what I was talking about here on the daily. If we look at Lucid, nice VPA cluster here down to about 24, bigger one building about 26.5 up, but there's not much once we kind of get going here on Lucid. So let's get some levels on this. The level that I like on the upside, I'm gonna wait over, you know, there's a lot of congestion here up to this 30 or up to this 28 level. So I'm gonna wait over that level and play this off of 28.15. If I can put this, all right, whatever, I'll just manually do it. 28.15, I like that. I'll definitely be watching that 28.2 level, as it is decently big, but over that, this level right here at 28.4 is definitely doable. It's been a big level. Let's see, 28.42. It's been a big level there. And then, see, look at this. Look how big this level is over here, right? But we don't have much on this VPA cluster up towards the 29 level. Use the hourly, kind of look, see what we got here. So that 28.4 level is definitely big. And then my second target is going to be the high here at 28.9, which also is a POC. And then over that, I like this level here. You know, what are these highs? 29.45. I like that level a lot. This can, you know, it's got big play potential. Definitely going to be watching those 30 calls. As I say, you know, I like the upside here on Lucid, and definitely will be keeping this play in mind, especially if we have a pretty strong market tomorrow. On the downside, I'm going to use this double bottom down here at 26.85 for my put trigger, and the reason being it's not a little bit higher is, you know, there's a bunch of congestion, a bunch of different things. We have this little VPA, so I'm going to let it clear out of that VPA before really playing Lucid. I thought about that 26.95 level, but there is still pretty heavy buyers stepping in at that 26.85 level, so I'm going to wait till it clears that and then play that 26.85 as my puts. So it looks like, you know, first thing, really nothing too crazy here on this VPA, right? So I'm going to use the hourly. On the hourly, so big level, I mean 26.5 is a decent level, but underneath that, this 26.3 level is definitely much bigger. So that will be my first target down here, 26.3. And then underneath that, you know, this sucker can bleed, but buyers have been stepping in pretty heavy. So I'm pretty optimistic about Lucid tomorrow. I'm going to put 26 down here as well as my second target. I like that a lot. Definitely the upside here. If we have a weak market, I like Neo's downside. The premium's a little bit tighter on that. Spread's a little bit tighter, so I like that a lot. Looks like it did try to make a break to the downside here on Lucid towards the end of the day with SPY dumping. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. BAC. So BAC, what these levels, you know, they're pretty clear cut, and the call trigger I'm going to use is right up here at 48.6. It is the start of a VPA gap, so it could reject hard off that 46 and fall. Perfectly cool playing puts off of that. And then my put trigger, I'm going to use this level, the highs in here, 48.21. 48.21. All right, I think that's a little bit high. I'm gonna use the lows over here. Yeah, we'll use these lows over in here. I'm gonna use the 15 to get a little bit better visualization here. So I'm gonna use, all right, cool, I like this. Nice, wherever it went. There's a little VPA cluster, it went. So this thing could fall either way, but I'm gonna use this level down here at 47.95 as my put trigger. And this is when, you know, it ripped hard towards the end of the day. So the level I'm really noticing here is all the way down here at 47.18. So the downside, I like that as my first potential target. Well, you know, I'll keep some of these levels in mind, but that's definitely a big level all the way down here at 47.18. And then underneath that, this level here is big, 46.85, very big level. BAC is one that moves a little bit slower, but the premiums are nice, the spreads are nice. I like that a lot. On the hourly, I'm going to have to use this to try and get some targets. So the first level I really notice here on BAC is up here, you know, about 48.85. 48.85 will be my first. A lot of congestion as we see over here on BAC, so I do like that downside potential more, but always willing to play. If this can break through, consolidate with some volume, then break through that level at 48.6 and then 48.86, this thing can get moving. And the next level I really like is up here. 49 is going to be a big one, of course, but 49.10 is going to be my second target here on BAC. I like that a lot. Over 49.10, this thing can get moving. If we look at the daily, these are levels, it has tested a couple times and then fallen through. So over that 49 level, maybe a push towards 50, but in here around 49.5 is going to be a big level first before we get that 50 push. Riot. So, as I stated, Riot is definitely one with Bitcoin. It moves off of Bitcoin, but we notice a nice volume here, significantly higher than the previous days. So I like that a lot on Riot. We do have a nice little gap to fill up to 17.4. So I like that. But my call trigger is going to be right up here at the top of this level. Let's see here. Zoom out a little. What's the high on this? So 1698. What's the test on this? 1688. Okay, cool. I'm going to use 1690.95 as my call trigger here on Riot. I like that a lot. Going to look at the hourly, kind of give a little bit better picture here. So if we notice, the high of this 1695 tested that level. We did test that level again at 1698, but we weren't able to close above. So, we start with a downtrend for a little while down in those 14 areas. So I like that play a lot. On the downside, the level that I'm really watching is right here, the top of this 16.8, the low 16.18. So I'm going to throw this in here for a put trigger at 16.2. Underneath that, definitely some congestion, but this big VPA patch down here at 15.5 is nice. I'm going to use the 15. These levels are kind of a little bit more sparing. So this looks like to be a big level here. 16 is going to be a big level. I'm going to throw 16 on there for sure. For the downside, flip this to yellow. So 16 is going to be a big level. And then underneath that, 16, it looks like, oh man, a lot of congestion, right? But that 15.5 is going to be another big level. I'll probably end up just using Sykes. Just using these Sykes 15.75 and then 15.5 as areas to scale. 15.84 is definitely a big level as well. All right, let's look to the upside. So on the daily, we did have that gap to 17.4. So that's going to be my first target. If BTC holds up, I haven't really been watching it. I do like this down to 17 or up to 17.4. Then over that, there's not much, right? So 18 is going to be a decent sized level. I'll throw that in 18. But looking at this VPA, even on the hourly, there's not too much until 18.75 is going to be a big level. So I'm going to keep those in mind. Definitely on the upside. I like the downside as well. A little bit more congestion, but that upside is pretty clear if we can hold up. Let's see. That's talked about no BA yet. All right, cool. So as we see here, we have this POC at 207.81. Kind of flagging, consolidating for either a big break up or a break down. And it looks like on the hourly, we do have a bearish engulfing candle right around that POC. But in terms of a call and a put trigger, I'm going to use the level here, the psych level at 205 for my put trigger, which is, let's see, let's throw this in blue. So 205 for my put trigger, and then my call trigger, a little bit more congested, but a very big level here on BAC is that 208 psych level. So I'm going to use 208 as my call trigger. I like that a lot. We do have some congestion, but it looks like over 209.5, the sucker can really get to going. Let's use the 15, kind of break this down a little bit. So over that, it looks like 208.4, going to be a big level. 2084, and then over that, what's the high on this? 209, big level, of course. So over that, I'm perfectly cool with playing these 210 calls, and I'm pretty confident in those. Once we get over that 209 level, let's see, 209.5, we'll do 209.6, I like that, with the VPA cluster over here. And then over that, this sucker can move. Not too much until up around 217, which is where those 220s are probably targeting. So I like that. On the downside, looks like this level here at 203 is going to be my bottom of the zone. If it can't hold that, this sucker is going down, right? But levels that I'm going to watch below that are right here at this 204.5 level. 204.5, I like that. And then we do have this nice little VPA cluster here, but it's bounced off that 204.5. I like under that down to 203.3. BA is one that can move pretty well, moves pretty fast. The spreads are a little bit iffy here and there, but I like the play potential on both sides. So BA is definitely one I'm going to be watching tomorrow with the travel sector. It's the leader in the travel sector. I like that. I like all those plays. You know, Neo is that one that I like the downside, but I think Lucid will run. It will obviously run with Tesla, a little bit stronger name, but I do like that downside on Neo. If we can close under that 23.55 level, test 23.10, 23, and then under there, the sucker can really fall. Let's look at this daily here. So on the daily, you know, inverted hammer, which is whatever, but underneath 23, not too much holding up, pretty bullish zone. But look, you know, we can fall down massively to 21, test 20, but we also have this gap on the upside if we can pass through. Let's see what level 24.3, I believe, is my call trigger. If you want to play Neo, I like that a lot. We had a double top test at that 24.3, target of 24.5, 24.85, and then up at 25. So those are the plays I like a lot. We'll be watching, you know, Neo I like with a weaker market. All the other plays, if we can bounce, continue going tomorrow. I like all these plays a lot to the upside, but if we have a weak market, I do like them to the downside as well. And that's one thing, you know, with the flow that really, really helps me to kind of get a hold of what the big play potential is.